Hello everyone. A lot of Texas No Limit Hold'em players also play Pot Limit Omaha, and that's why I want to share with you some tips for this game. And again, I would advise you, to start each game from the micros. And because I have good experience with Pot Limit Omaha, that's why I'm playing 0.25, zero point 0.5 blinds, and uh, a lot of knowledge you can get by playing Pot Limit Omaha because it is a complex game. There are four cards that are dealt to you, and you need to use only two cards and three of the board to make the best hand. Okay, so my goal is, to show you how to read the board and maybe give you some nice tips because maybe you are going to play Pot Limit Omaha also uh, when you go to play No Limit Hold'em, and maybe this game is going to attract you a lot. So always avoid, these kind of hands. You see one dangler here, two diamonds, three cards are connected. It cannot form nuts in any way, and Omaha is a more of a nuts game. So we can, fold this hand, and even if we had say 3-4 by the river, anyone could have a flush. He could have about 35% equity to win, and we don't want to, get in those kind of multi-way situations. You see, there are so many players that are, contesting for this spot, and everyone's equity hence decreases. And the other important, point is when you initially buy in, just simply sit and watch like what everyone is doing. So I believe it's a very loose table, and players are, just playing every chance they are getting. I'm not okay, let me start the HUD also. So but that's not configured. Okay, let's leave it there. So just eyeball each player like what he's doing. Okay, K799. He has bet. He could already have, a made full house when he bet on the turn, and he has put Bernie all in. Yeah, so they. Oh, okay, so Bernie already had a full house, and that's a bad beat. See, uh, that's a bad beat because see, he already had a full house with K9, and he somehow, just stole it. So this, let's start, with isolating a single player. We don't want, many players with us. If there are too many players, our equity is going to drop, and that's what has happened, which we didn't want. And there are 8 cards, that are out there, and they could easily have an ace in a hand in their hand. And okay, so there has been no pre-flop raise, but in PLO kind of game, people don't, bet with kings, queens, and anybody could easily have, quads. So the best option is to check and hope that others also check and don't bet. Okay, that's very nice. And now, like, let us say someone has kings, he may like to call because they know we have been, very easy. Like, but still, to rule out pocket tens, I'm going to bet here. If anybody has pocket tens, I want the better hand to fold. Pocket tens, pocket jacks. So what he has, okay, he didn't have much, I believe. Okay, let me see what he had. So, okay, what he had, okay, he had pocket sevens and he made the call, okay. So you should also think, in way like you can get some better hands to fold sometimes. And I wanted to win, so I thought that maybe that bet is going to, get some kind of a hand to fold, and it was clear, that none had an ace. Alright, so it's a very very loose table, and let's see what else develops. Okay, so now two players are sitting out. You see Lusky, the next Phil to be. Okay, he has bought in. One player is sitting out. So I don't think like anyone is playing bad at the moment. I don't have a hut setup, and I don't have much history with them, so I cannot comment. Okay, King 9, he is playing a nice hand. This is double suited, actually trashy hand, and it cannot form any nuts, and at most it can do is make you lose a big pot. So we are going to fold it, and he has elected to not. Okay, he's the big blind, and he has called a pre-flop raise. I don't know with what kind of hands. Slusky. Okay, so when Piangxi bets on the turn and Shade Cotteriel, re-raises on the turn, he signifies a very strong hand and he wants to get it all in. And Piangxi makes the fold. Piangxi, I believe, is playing a bit loosely and trying to take advantage of situations. And if this player was, on our right, then probably we could have exploited him out of position. This kind of a hand which you can't re-raise, don't call. That's a very nice tip. Any hand that you can't raise, you should just muck it, and don't muse, okay, that our hand was so good, we flopped, we could have flopped trips, or we could have got quads. So don't look back in this game. Always look at your current decision. Focus on making good decisions, and that's the way to play poker. There's no history. There's no future in this game. There's only present. If you're going to be in present and you're gonna make good decisions, then you will win. So okay, so let me show you any showdowns which have happened. Those players that do not understand, this kind of game. Okay, so like those that do not know, see, Sandwiches has won using two of his clubs, using just two cards. He can use only two cards, King, Nine, and that way he has got the nut flush. All others have, got, I believe, two pair kind of hands. We are on the button, and I don't want to, get messed up or play a big pot with a non-nutty hand in a game like PLO. I want to raise, I want to isolate, then I want to put myself in the best situation, and I'm just happy, folding every hand that I get. I don't need to play. If everyone is on the table thinking about playing and winning, and I'm sitting at the table thinking about, folding every hand that I get, then I believe ultimately I'm going to win. If I don't even win, I won't lose, and that's, I believe, is winning. If you go to the casino with $100 and then you are just focused on winning and you lose it, you don't have anything, you have lost it. And supposing you come back out, even with $100, so that's basically, a win. At least that's not a loss. Had you lost the entire thing, uh, then again, like to make it back, those little losses, become very big at the end of the year. So you have to play very tight, and you have to see like what others are doing. So even in a game like PLO, you are not getting a very good hand most of the time. Maybe like in couple of rounds you will get a hand that you can raise, and once you start folding a lot of hands, you get a very tight image, and you can use that tight image to steal to steal, you know in some situations where you are highly polarized and the other person will put you, on a very strong hand. Those kind of situations you can use to your advantage when your image is good. But if your image is bad, then you can't use, those kind of situations. My image is tight. I haven't played a single hand, and I can, use it to bet here. Had it been just one player, but there are two, and I believe them, to hold the best hand, because what else they are going to, come in with if not with 10 jack. And now no one has bet, so now we can do a check raise kind of we can take a check raise kind of line and hopefully get folds. If someone calls, and we can, bet on the river if flush draw doesn't complete. So like without having anything much and maybe having a losing hand, we were able to use our image to our advantage, and we don't even have a double suited hand to, get in the pot. So another thing about pot limit Omaha is that it's a very fast game. There's a huge amount of variance, and the pots are going to go very big, and like a lot of players, are going to push in with draws, with suited hands. They are going to push all in, trying to get other person to fold, and for that reason you have to mostly have, you need to start with a very good hand. If you have the, ace high flush draw, and the other person is coming in with a king high flush draw, then you have, you have one big. So let's see what he Piangxi was doing. 6948 isn't, that bad a hand in PLO, because he could always have, these are four connected cards and they can form straight draw. And okay, so what he had a pair of aces, and a pair of aces is the worst hand basically. Okay, let's see what happened here. He had pair of aces and a nut flush draw, and I believe Piangxi had something like four connected cards. So did he bet the flop or not? Let me just check it here. Uh, which hand it is? Okay, yeah, this one. Okay, so he bet pre-flop and Piangxi called it. Okay, now we have a very premium hand, and because the table is so loose and betting, I want Piangxi to bet like he has been doing, or sandwiches to bet, any of them to bet, and I'm going to go over their top, and I believe I'm good enough in this spot, or I can just decide to make a call. Okay, so what happened in the last hand? Okay, let's leave it. Okay, no one has bet, and we have top pair, and we have nut flush, and if you're not going to bet in this spot, then if you're not going to bet, but the trouble here is Lasky has betted, and he could have something like pocket eights, pocket nines. So let's just call and see what happens. Okay, so he folds, and now two has no meaning here, but he could have a backdoor flush or something, and no. Okay, I don't know what he was betting with. Did he bet with pocket eights or something? I'm not sure. And he could very easily have pocket nines and pocket eights, but I believe him to have flush more. But he's not going to pay me, so I'm not going to bet here. If he did have pocket nines, he could very easily have checked.